Hello and welcome to the 5 Builders 1 City multiplayer collaboration. This is episode 12 of the season 4 and there is a link in the video description if you want to check out all the other episodes. A big thank you to Xardus and the whole 5B1C team, including all the amazing guests, for inviting me to this exciting project. My idea for this build is to bring my style to the North American side of the build and see if we can make a pedestrian-centric city, including pathways, public transportation, and a lot of green areas, because you know me and we just need to add one more tree. But without any further ado, let's get to it. The first thing I did was create a connection between the area that Flyvox built and the area that Conflict Nerd did very recently. So I started by creating this bridge across the highway in here, and they both had the same road style, and I was like, well, that would make sense then for me to connect them and make like that the way we make this transition from one side to the other. And I think that I ended up creating something really interesting with that curve in there. And then I went back to the riverside, the waterfront there, and I started filling some of these, not really a gap, but we have some space in there, and I thought it would be a good idea to look at those. As I usually do, I start with the road layout more often than not. Sometimes I do a bit of road layout, some building, then go back to road layouts and expand a little bit more. And the reason why I do this is because then I can add some zoning and understand the impact on the whole population and employment, and you see me looking at unemployment quite a lot throughout the build here. One thing that I want to make sure that I would get right is that the right balance between jobs and people, because this is an area that is very large and I wanted to keep the same style that Conflict Nerd started building in here, and then for that I would have to keep things on medium density to low density. So I kept everything on, I think it was medium density. I did some high density buildings, especially commercial, because they are the ones that grow the same size of the mid density residential, for example. And as you can see, I start adding some pathways already. I want to make sure that all pedestrians have access to everywhere they can go, and my idea here is to go really into providing a North American style, but with a lot of pedestrian connectivity, ways for people to get around, for not having to go to a busy interchange. And you see me building bridges and pathways and adding new ways to connect areas that are not only dependent on cars. So we have public transportation as well and all that sort of stuff. But for now, doing this little bit here, that'll be kind of a waterfront road in there and leaving some connections ready for that other side. I'll keep on the left side of the highway in there, just to keep things interesting. I think that was an interesting challenge. This build took me about 8 hours, so it feels like a very, very small space there, but it's been like quite a long one as well. And you see me doing things like what I'm doing now, which is improving the education system. So I went across the city, look at areas where we could have like some updates or upgrades to the school buildings, like providing more capacity. And the ones that I've done the most were the elementary school plus the, I think, college as well. And I hope you saw that very briefly, the unemployment in there, and that's going up. So here I am providing some mixed zoning, and I want to make sure that most of these areas we have mixed zoning, so pedestrians or people could live and work in the same area. This would be heavily focused on commercial. We have a little bit of offices as well, but my idea is that people should live where they work, and all these pathways would allow them to get to their workplace very, very easily. And I think I managed to do that. You will be the judge, you'll tell me in the comment section, but I think we got there in the end. So I added some only residential because there was kind of waterfront. You had the stadium on the other side, and I wanted people to have like a nice view and be a very nice area to live in. So came across the other side with this little area that we built here near the river as well. We start adding all the buildings in there, some the residential. I always struggle to say that in that area as well, with more pathways, and we've unlocked some signature buildings. So I thought, well, this would be really good for this area because we are working just with the medium density and mixed density, and they would just fit in this area. So I had to go for it, but I couldn't overlook all the services as well. So this is the first one that I'm putting down. That is a hospital, and I've also done all the upgrades to that hospital. There was nothing in this area for medical, crematoriums, police, or fire station. So I've done all of those, and you'll see me putting the police and fire station in a second. But then I finished that little gap in there and keep moving on. Obviously, on a North American style, car parks couldn't be missed. So under the highway there, I found some place that I could actually hide them, but I have them. That's my way of, and that's my style, you know. Usually I found these spots where nothing would be really nice in there, and a car park makes totally sense in there. So I've worked on that. Then I look at the post offices, and the coverage in the city is very poor alongside with internet connection. So for this area, I put a post sorting facility plus mailbox, and I'm looking at the internet and looking where that fits. And as you saw there, I was trying some different places, and I thought, well, you know what, this in the middle would work really well. And I put the bigger antenna in there because that was the best one in this scenario. So with that all sorted, police, fire department, and some crematorium as well, with almost all the upgrades in there. I tried to put that extension at the back, but it wouldn't align, so I said, you know what, let's leave it out, and I'm happy the way it is. And more pathways connecting the whole area, and as you can see, I've been working quite a lot in providing walkways for them, and now working with some alleys as well, because I feel like this area would be, although still medium density, but a little bit more, not quieter, but with less car traffic. I want this to be heavily on the pedestrian side of things, especially that we have a bus stop very, very close to here. There we go, the bus stopping right there, and that would just work for us. So making this all connected again, all the sides in there. As you can see, every single chance that I have, I make sure that pedestrians can jump on and off those roads and access where they want. Now, I've seen it put some high density offices in there, and I made sure that I just had like 3 deep on the type of zoning, on the size of zoning actually. And the reason was that I didn't want that very large buildings to be coming up, and I think that worked very well in the end. Now to the final area that we have in here, and that's where I'll be zoning and building a little bit more. I'm trying to make these still a grid, but an interesting grid at the same time. So I start with the highway, using that a way to make like the horizontal lines, and use the kind of vertical, almost vertical lines in there, or roads I should say, and make them connect in the middle. And I think that worked really nice, and that also gave me some space for some parks in this area that I was really keen on adding as well. If you know me, you know that I'm very, very big believer and supporter of parks everywhere. That creates a lot of human connection and interaction and give people areas where they can just relax and enjoy their life, along with making cities walkable and making sure that people don't need to drive everywhere they go, that they can just get on a bike or maybe just walk towards their destination. And the green areas they are coming, I've done a lot, and I think that was what took most of the time on this build, was to do the detailing. I won't show you all the detailing, but I will show you a little bit after we finish the speed build in here, and I will still show you some of the parks and some of the things I've done, just so we have an idea on where I was going with everything, and give you some ideas as well on how you can do the same thing on your cities. But again, getting this area all connected. If you notice, some of these connections I make right at the junction in there, because this is usually where people is coming from or going to, and they have a way to just cross over there. So that is very helpful, and you see that at the end there we do have quite a lot of traffic, or people, not traffic, car traffic, but people traffic just around this area. Also put some sound barrier in here just to make sure that we tackle the noise problem that we could potentially have in the future. And I think that's something that is very welcome, especially near the highways. And then start to look into parks and attractions. I didn't mention, but we did put the big Ferris wheel on the left there, and this was I think is one of the highlights of this place, with the library that Conflict Nerd put in there before. Also doing a lot more roads maintenance depot. I think I put another one after that, and now I'm working on public transportation, and I'm finally connecting both sides. So I got away a little bit from my area on the North American side and went to the European side here of the river. And even this area where Teddy Radical built this really nice attraction for the snow mountain and all of that. And I brought the metro connection all the way to there. Then there is a tram station that people can jump on and go whatever they want in that area. And this goes through both downtowns for the European and the North American as well. North American is on your right side now, European is on the left side. And then we're finally connecting these two areas with metro. And here I'm bringing another connection to take this to the area that I've just built. I'm really happy with the outcome of these new metro stations or new metro line in here, because that is a lot of people already using it, and it was worth it. Like when you do something and you start seeing people using that a lot, it shows that that's needed. Also, from time to time, you see during this build that there's a lot of traffic, and that is just because we brought a lot of people into the area at the same time. And with that, there's a lot of people moving into the city, and that brings a lot of traffic, and that will, like right now, this will attract a lot of people, and there'll be a bit of traffic, then you go away, and everything is sorted as well. But just to finalize this little corner in here, one more park there, some more parking as well, some more commercial, and just filling this area, and at the back there, the mix to just connect to the area behind it. And I think that worked quite well. I'm looking at unemployment there again, and hopefully you saw that this is finally going down. And I think at the end, we had a very good balance in terms of employment and people in the city or unemployed people, and I think this is quite good. The more they study, the more jobs they will also find throughout the city, and I think this will work very well for us. I'm really happy with how this will look when this is all filled out as well, and very happy with the area that we have in here for a little bit more offices. And I will finish with some more, well, not finish, but I'll add some more mailboxes in there so we can actually collect and deliver all the mail in this area, making sure that we have enough upgrades there. And then I'll do some more mixed residential in this area over here. Now, after we finish zoning this, we will look at the crossing for the highway in there, which is kind of busy at the moment. I've noticed that there were some people that were trying to go to the other side but couldn't just cross this area. So what I've done, I basically created some bridges in there, followed by removing any of the crossings on the road. So for them to cross in here, they will go through these pedestrian bridges that we have in there now. And I think this worked quite well. Also remove some of the traffic lights in here because they were not needed. There was one in the middle that was needed, nothing else. So that helped with traffic flow in there a little bit as well. Now, this is one of the main parks that I've done in the area. I think the largest one. And as you can see how I built all of this, I start with some of the pathways in there. I want to connect all the intersections in here and provide ways for them to go anywhere they wanted. And I think I've managed that. Later you can see that people are actually using those pathways and going in place. So that is really, really nice. And then I just have two mods that I'm using here, Anarchy and Line 2, so I can do the detailing and do like these lines of bushes, as you can see now. So these are the ones that I've been using, and that's just that. While I do the detailing here, and you can see how I'm doing this, I'm selecting one type of tree. Everything I do very selective, with the exception of larger areas. The waterfront, I believe, was a very large area, so I used the brush instead of putting one by one. But I wanted to give this a certain look when these trees all grow, and I did wait for them to grow as well. So you see how they look when they are larger trees and this starts to fill up. But yeah, I just used these two mods, and I don't know if you know this, but what I'm using here is actually the new build, most recent build as well, with all the bug fixes and the access to the modding, Paradox modding in the background. And I'm using those two mods from Paradox mods already. So that is pretty cool. This is from the early access as well, and I'm pretty happy that I managed to do this and record this using that build, because this was much faster. The game performs better and the game works better in that way. But I getting to the end of the speed build with all the detailing. As I said before, I've done a lot more. As you can see, I keep going and going and going, and everything very carefully placed in the areas that I want. Of very few exceptions, like this one now where I'm using the brush, but I'm very happy with the outcome. But let's jump on the real-time builds, and I will show you a few more things. First thing that I want to show you is basically how all these parks and these connections are actually working. As you can see, people are walking here and people are using these pathways over there. There's someone walking over there as well, and this is all working. And we have some green areas in the middle of all of this. As you can see, we have green areas over here, around here, there, and as you look through it, you start seeing that every single building, or every single block, I should say, have some detailing and have some trees around it as well. So this is the last area you saw me doing, which added a lot of new trees in here and a lot of detailing all around this area. I want things to look very not busy is not the right word, but pushy, like full of greens and trees. And as you can see, that plays the part, because when you look at these buildings, or when you live in this area and you have like a big car park like this, you definitely want to see some trees around here as well. By the way, these trees are still not fully grown. They are 1/3 of their life, so they will still grow a little bit more, but they're getting there. I think this already gives you a sense of how they look like, especially when you have areas where you have some difference in heights. This helps hide quite a lot of things. As you can see, I've used a combination of trees and bushes, and this looks, in my opinion, looks nice. And add all these bushes around here as well. I just wish that I could expand a little bit and make the high fidelity texture appear a little bit from further away. At the moment, I don't have that option in the game, so I really hope that we can do it at some point. Otherwise, it kind of look blurry a little bit in there. By the highway here, this is the crossing that we've added in there, and along the fence here we have all, oops, that should be over here, all this line of trees helping reduce the, I should just fix this, but help this reduce the noise coming from the highway as well. So all the way through here, this is working as it should, and over here we are on the other side. And just to show you more details, as you can see, we have the train line that's still not connected. So this is the area that I built, right? So we had just this area over here, and then I built all around it, connected all the corners in here, and all the even added some of the trees over this side as well, just to fill this up a little bit. If anyone wants to build a little bit more in there, they can certainly do that. One other thing that I tried to do, and here you can see the difference in size of the trees. So this side was the ones that I've done, that side was the ones that Conflict Nerd did. So I've tried to keep the same pattern and the same feeling and look over here, just to make that transition a little bit easier as well. And I think that worked. I think this kind of fits the parts, and I hope it does, because I was really I really enjoy this area, how that all looked like, and I want to add to it, not to detract, and then hopefully I've achieved that. In terms of the Ferris wheel, this is what I've done with the area. I thought this was again another very good opportunity for a really nice park in here, and I do feel like this looks pretty cool. The colors in there, we still have the autumn winter colors, so hopefully soon this will start changing as well, but it's, in my opinion, it's looking much better. Going to this area over here, what I've done here, we had like that wall in there. So what I thought was, if you're down here and enjoying some time by the river, like it's a hot day, you're enjoying it there, you don't actually want to see that wall. So I've lined up all these trees in here to make sure that we can kind of not just hide the wall. I know that Conflict Nerd had like a lot of trouble to put this up, but I think thinking about the pedestrians, when you look down here, you had a much better view in there, and this feels a lot more natural as well, not having that in there. And look at the Ferris wheel over there. Oh, that looks so good now. So yeah, that's in there. As I mentioned, we have police, helicopters, some schools, the medical center in here, and education in there, some mail sorting facility. This one was the recycling center. We had some trouble with trash. We still have a little bit, but now it's going away. Finally, it took a while, but it's finally going away. And I think this is now working much better. So a few areas of interest in here. We were looking at unemployment a lot of the times there. And if you look at this, you can see that, yeah, we went like through a period of ups and downs, and I think this is basically when I started playing, and then we took that back down. Now, the more people that moves in, the more it will grow, so we need to provide more and more jobs for them and make sure that that aligns with their education. Because hopefully you can see, especially towards the end here, that things like the highly educated, because I have added more capacity for university, has gone up, and even the well-educated citizens, although not that much, but it's still going up as well. So this is pretty good. Crime rate is still very low, and public transportation has its ups and downs, but I think we are doing quite well compared, right? Just getting more and more over there. Now, in terms of public transportation, I mentioned that they were using this quite nicely. So first, this line that we have here, as you can see, we are now over capacity, 103%. So one of the things that I've done with all the buses in the city, they are all electric now. So that is a big change, and I think that will help with pollution quite a lot. So I've just increased, by the way, the number of buses that we have in there, so we provide more capacity. In terms of the subway, this is the river crossing, the line that I've added, and basically where this goes, I'll actually get out of the view to show you, goes from here, there, here, here, and comes around this area. So the way it's going at the moment, 513 passengers. As we are building, this will grow more and more. So I'm really happy with usage now, and especially for this connection that goes through both sides of the river. Quite happy with the outcome in here. But yeah, that is my build for the 5 builders 1 city. I brought them mail, I brought them internet. What else would you want? But I also left things connected and ready for expansion. I think this area needs a little bit of work. As you can see in here, we had quite a nice area on the European side, and I feel like the American side needs to start growing now as well. And this was my contribution right here to make that work. I really hope that you found that that it fits in the area, that you enjoy it. You can see all the people walking on those pathways that we've added, and hopefully they will use that more and more. I'm just trying to find like what else I've added in here. We do have a bit in here, they are walking, they're using it, more over there as well, on this side they're using over here. So I want to make this as walkable as possible and detail as much as I could, and make a nice impression in here for our citizens. We've also went up to 106,000 people. I think it's above 35,000 from the beginning. I might be wrong, but we can double check that. But I think this is a fantastic growth and a nice addition for the city in here. But I just want to say that if you want to have a chat about this build or any other one that we have in the channel, you can join our Discord server, or you can just add a comment in the comment section, and I'm more than happy will answer your questions as well. Again, there is a link in the description with the playlist with all the other episodes before and the ones that will come after that as well. You can check that out. And a big thank you for all the main participants and the guests from 5 Builders 1 City. Everyone has been very welcoming, and I'm having like a blast with all of them building this, and I'm enjoying every single episode. And obviously I'm enjoying this one because this is the one that I've built. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.